Hey, peace and blessings, everyone. You're now locked in with the Baddest Chaplain on the globe, Chris B. First and foremost, I want to thank you so much for subscribing to us on YouTube, BaddestChaplain.substack.com, Spotify, Apple, any and everywhere that you get podcasts. Our guest today is comedian, actor, writer, host, and producer Rashad Bashir. Rashad has performed at the Apollo, Levity Live, Caroline's Comedy Club, and other comedy clubs in New York City. He is the 2019 winner of the Harlem Comedy Festival. Rashad, welcome to the podcast. It's good to have you here, man. How you doing?
Thank you, man. I'm wonderful, man. Healing well and feeling well.
That's it. That's the mission, man. That's the mission. So I want us to walk through the whole journey, man. Like, talk to us about that first moment, whether it was in school, with your family, at like a cookout or something, when you first realized, I really enjoy making people laugh. Not that you make people laugh, but you're like, I enjoy making people laugh. Like, when did that first happen for you?
Man, that's a loaded question. It really,
Sure.
I was a young kid, before 10 years old. I would say about 4 or 5. Like, my family gave me a lot of attention. They spoiled me with a lot of love. And, they would always put me in the spotlight. They would always put me in front of them because for some reason, as a kid, I always had something to say.
Yeah.
And, whatever I said, it would like make them laugh, or you'd be like, oh, Rashad, look at you. And then, I had this thing of always wanting to have attention, to have something to say, and people react to it positively.
Got you.
And then around 9 years old, I came across this program. I was too young at the time to know what it was, but I see these adults on TV in a space speaking and making adults laugh.
Right.
It was BT Comic View.
Yes.
And I tell you, I never forget it. I tell everybody this. My first encounter with stand-up, like professional stand-up, was watching BT Comic View. This was when Ricky Smiley was the host.
Right.
Yeah, and then they had Ronaldo Ray in the backdrop.
Kind of by like the lounge or whatever?
Right. Yeah. And Laura Hayes was also on the stage with them. And I remember seeing this being sort of like a superpower.
No doubt.
These adults are on a stage. I didn't understand it was a stage at the time.
Right.
But they're in front of all these adult people saying things and making them laugh.
Right.
And I was like, I want to do that. That's a superpower to me. And I wanted to do that. So how I got started with doing that, I would take some of the jokes that the comedians were saying, and I would say it to my friends.
Of course,
naturally, like everybody does.
100%.
Starting stand up, and it was like I would tell it to my friends, and they'd be like, "Oh, I heard that before. Tell me something. Tell me something new."
Right.
So I was like, "Damn, I don't know how to do that." Now, seeing it live in person was through my mom.
Okay.
She worked in the beauty salons in Harlem. Yeah, so she would have all these clients, and it was amazing to see because she would have like 7 or 8 clients. She'd have 4 in the dryer. Then she'd have 2 in the sink washing their hair.
Right.
And then she'd have 2 customers that would come in. She would like undo their braids or like cut whatever their hair. And while she's doing this, just like on it. And while she's doing this, they're talking to her and she's replying to what they're saying and making them laugh.
All 7 people. Right.
All like and they'd be like, Trina, you crazy. And it was just amazing to see.
Yeah.
And then it was in my head. I was like, she's doing what I saw those adults doing on TV.
No doubt.
She's doing it in person. And at the time, I didn't know what was happening. I just knew I wanted to be somebody that had something to say.
Right.
And have people around me and enjoy what I'm saying. And I wanted to be able to put joy into their life, put humor into their life.
Absolutely.
And then I was like, you know what? I want to be a stand-up comedian. First of all, everybody in my family is funny. My dad, My stepdad, my dad, my mom, my brother, everybody in my family.
Come on.
We would go to cookouts. We would go to cookouts and they would do the dozens. Everybody just laughing and joking. And it was just like, wow, this is unbelievable. I had no idea the importance of what a stand-up comedian was to people.
For sure.
It was unbelievable to me. And I said, you know what, this is something I want to do.
Yeah, get you.
Fast forward, it's 2004, February. I'm 15.
Mm-hmm.
I sign up for the Valentine's Day talent show at my high school.
Right.
And I did my first official stand-up comedy set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I was 15. I stopped because I was like, I don't know what this was, because I tried to do it again after that. Like when I was like 16, 17, it didn't like go the way I wanted.
Yeah.
So I said to myself, oh, I really need to sit down and write something. Really come up with something. Then I would say at 22, I was like, you know what? Let me go to an open mic. Let me try this. And then that was 2010. And from 2010 up until now, the rest is history.
The rest is history. It's funny, I'm hearing you talk about that sort of like training ground of just like, you know, your family and just like learning how to like tell jokes at school, but that desire to write. And as you're saying that, it made me think about, you know, when I first encountered your work on Instagram, one of your impressions of who I consider one of the greatest writers in comedy of all time, Paul Mooney. Like, just, I mean, brilliant at stand-up, but just wrote, like, just a genius when it comes to what he was writing. Talk to me about his impact on you, how he's inspired you as a comedian. Like, obviously, you do the impressions and they're fantastic, but his legacy, how it's inspired you as a comedian.
So, I will say I met Paul Mooney on 2 occasions.
Okay.
First one, because, you know, he was in Harlem a lot.
Right.
So I heard stories about, you know, Paul Mooney. He doesn't like to be approached. He doesn't like to be, you know, people shouting out to him like, "Hey, Paul Mooney," like he's some big celebrity star.
Right.
He would always say, "I'm not Hollywood. I'm neighborhood."
That's one.
What he would say.
That's the one.
He would always say that. I'm walking, and he's coming from like he's walking west, so he's on the Apollo side, so he's walking from under the marquee. And I look at him, and I was like, "Hey, Paul Mooney." He's like, "Oh," he gave me one of those. I was like, "Oh." I was like, "Okay," and I was like, and at that point, I was like, "People were right. They were right.
They weren't making that up, right?
Right. They were right." Second time I meet him, this is 2017. There was a comedy. There was like a comedy award show that was put together at the Alhambra Ballroom, right across the street from the State Office Building.
Yeah.
And every major black stand-up comedian is there. D.L. Hughley, Bill Bellamy, Coco Brown, Marshall Warfield, Joe and Guy Torrey. I sat at Guy Torrey's table, the younger brother. I sat at his table, and it was just unbelievable. And then I'm looking around, I see all these celebrities. I saw Full Force.
Wow.
Full Force from House Party.
That's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, it was just unbelievable. And I'm looking around and I see these people, and then Paul Mooney comes out. He's with his wife at the time, and he's with his daughter, Spring. They bring him out, and at this time, I didn't know he had. I don't know if it was dementia or Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
Right. So I had to, but I could tell that he was kind of unaware of where he was. And that his family had to bring him out.
No doubt.
And it was at that moment I was like, wow. Yeah. I'm in front of history. Right now. And at the time I didn't really, I knew about Paul Mooney. I saw a lot of his work, but I didn't get into it extensively. And then I saw him and I heard him speak, and I was like, wow, this is
the real deal.
This is who this is.
Yeah.
And then the person that brought me there, her name is Allison Williams. She's the first lady at Def Jam.
Okay.
She got me in. She was like, "Oh, this is my nephew," and she's like, "Paul, I want you to take a picture with my nephew." And that was the second time we met.
Yeah.
Took a picture together.
Right.
And I said, I have to look deeper into who he was and what his legacy was. So I started looking at his stand-up, started really watching his stand-up. His writing was genius.
Yeah, yeah.
Genius.
Genius, man.
And I said to myself, like, this man he's fearless. He tells the truth because, you know, sometimes comedians tell the truth,
right,
and they don't know how to package it with a humorous aspect.
For sure.
He told the truth straight, but he did that clever writing.
Yeah.
It was the hard truth, but it was that clever writing that made you laugh at it. And I said, I need to write like that. I need to write more fearlessly.
Yeah.
And so I started, when I started imitating his voice, I said, I got the voice down. I need the content. I need the writing. So I had to start listening to how he was writing. I watched his stand-up specials. And let me tell you, he's very rough on white people. He is very
no punches pulled. No
punches pulled at all.
No.
And I always have this thing. He would say, if you don't make white folks leave, you're not funny. If you don't make them, if white folks are still at your show at the end of your set, nigga, you are not funny. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, okay.
Because you can't edit. If you know Paul Mooney, you got to do Paul Mooney.
Right. If you know Paul Mooney, you can't unedit it. It was like, shout out to Ari Spears, what he said. You know, Paul Mooney, he was raw, uncut cocaine.
Yeah, seriously.
He gave it to you straight. And me as a stand-up, like this is my 14th year.
Wow.
Yeah. So, so early in my career, I wanted to be liked as a comedian.
Got you.
And when people like you, you care about their feelings, and you care about not hurting their feelings with the truth.
Right.
So, as comedians, we grow, we evolve. We go from wanting to be liked to liking the truth.
Talk about that, yeah.
One thing people can't escape is the truth.
Right.
One thing people can never deny is the truth.
Yeah.
And Paul never denied the truth in any of his comedy. He spoke from his well-read knowledge.
Right.
He spoke from the facts of society.
No doubt.
And of the world.
Right.
And whoever liked it. Whoever didn't,
that's how
he was going to speak the truth again the next day. At the next show.
Right.
That's who he was.
No doubt.
And I needed to adopt that into my set so I can speak to a broader audience, so I can keep them interested in what I'm saying.
For sure.
Because Dave Chappelle said it best. If you're not going to be funny, be interesting.
At the least, right?
At the least. Like, you're not going to make them laugh. Just make them be like, oh, shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Never seen this before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I say that to say, writing as Paul Mooney, writing the way I would know he would say it, has helped me with my set as just being Rashad Bashir.
Got you.
And now my goal is to, if I'm writing as Paul Mooney, kind of take away his voice a little bit and use mine with the same writing.
Right.
And kind of adopt that and have people like, oh.
Yeah. Well, here we
go. So yeah, that's how I'm embodying Paul Mooney.
With you.
Not just as a caricature, but you know, as this idea, as this voice.
Yeah.
As this voice of the people giving the truth.
100%.
Because let me tell you something. People don't like taking cod liver oil.
No.
But you cannot deny its benefits for you.
Right. It has some benefits to it, for sure.
A lot of people don't like the truth.
No.
But they understand the benefits behind the truth.
It's necessary.
Absolutely.
It's definitely necessary. And what you're saying, especially, Rashad, what you said about wanting and doing your best to write fearlessly, it's why I've often said that, in my estimation, in my opinion, comics, comedians, they're in that same prophetic street corner that preachers and teachers stand on. I feel that like preachers, comedians, and teachers all work the same block. If they're doing their job well, they're being prophetic, they're telling the truth. So with that in mind, talk about the way, like you kind of have talked about this a bit with Paul Mooney's work, but just really the ways in which you doing your your writing, your stand up, social media presence. How have you seen that impact people's lives?
Well, I will say this: with stand up, you're reaching a different energy that's hard to like pull out.
Yeah,
that's hard to, which is humor.
Yeah.
A comedian by the name of Tangi Fro Funny, shout out to her. I'm like anything I'm saying, I learn, I intake from my fellow comedy comrades. She said that a child laughs at least 300 to 400 times a day.
Come on.
Adults only laugh, I think, like 1% of that.
Right.
Or 2%. So kids laugh 300 times a day. Adults only laugh, I think, 30 times a day, or probably less than that.
Yeah.
We need to laugh more.
No doubt about it.
It burns calories, it keeps you younger, and it heals headaches.
Right.
There's been plenty of times I've gone on stage, I was not feeling well. I had a bad migraine. I got up there, and my will and drive to make people laugh, it made that headache go away.
Yeah.
It didn't even look like I was sick. Because once I got in the zone, once I got in my flow, it was just like, wow, I feel invincible.
Come on.
And when I got on stage, it was like I felt sick. And I was like, nah, I gotta do more comedy.
Yeah, exactly.
There's been so many times I've had people come to my shows. Oh, this is a real story. I run a show at this spot called Harlem Nights Bar.
Got you.
And I do a show every Saturday, every Monday. Every Monday is the open mic. Every Saturday is the show. A family came in. They came in. They didn't even know it was a comedy show. And they sat there. Show started. Show's going good. I'm hosting, doing my thing, hitting. At the end of the show, everybody had a great time. I go to the table. The guy, it was an older gentleman there. He said, "Hey man, I just want you to know, we didn't know it was a comedy show today. We just came here because we buried my mother."
Come on.
He said, this is my sister, it's my niece, it's my son, or something like that. This is family.
Yeah.
And he was like, your show helped us pull away from that dark space, helped us come out of that dark space of burying my mother.
Yeah.
And you helped us laugh at a sad situation.
Right.
Because we never know as comedians who we are affecting.
That's it.
With our jokes.
Right.
We have no idea how much joy we're putting into people's lives. There have been stories where people were about to commit suicide.
Yeah.
On that day. Right. But for some reason, they came to a place where there was comedy and laughed and were like, oh my God.
Right.
I was about to end it all.
Right.
And then your comedy saved my life.
Saved my life.
But through our comedy, we talk about things that we feel, that people feel that you shouldn't talk about, that's taboo, that's like politically correct. You can't we can't express ourselves on certain issues. Like, we have eyes. Comedians have eyes. Whatever we see, we're going to be able to talk about.
Sure.
And I always say we can talk about anything and anybody.
Right.
And any gender, as long as it's in good taste.
That's it.
Because it is the truth.
Yeah.
And like I said, a lot of people cannot take the truth.
Sure.
And I always say this, and I'm sure comedians say it all the time. We say it all the time. This is the thing. Comedy is a reflection of life.
No doubt about it.
But people have trouble looking in the mirror.
That's powerful.
I see what you look like.
Right.
I see who you are. You are probably in denial about who you are. Take a good look at yourself.
Come on.
Because what I'm saying is what I see.
Yeah. Call it like you see it.
We call it like we see it.
Yeah.
And we make it funny.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you were saying that, comedians are close to like preachers.
Yeah.
We preach the gospel of humor.
Right.
That's the way people laugh is the way Christians say amen.
That's profound. That's really profound though.
Every time something, if you go to church,
right,
the pastor says something from the Bible and it hits, amen. Thank you, Lord. People's hands are up like this.
Right.
They're clapping.
Right.
The way people at comedy shows say amen is with loud laughter.
Love that. That is really good. That is really good.
And and just like they read from a book, comedians, we read from a book.
Right.
We put our scriptures in.
Oh, come on.
We put our notes in.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll go to a church and people be like, I follow you. And then at a comedy show, they're like, this is interesting. We gonna rock with you because you're the pastor. We gonna rock with you.
You in this office, right?
Right. And then at the end of a comedy show, depending on if it's paid or not,
right,
we give around. We pass the offering bucket. We pass if you love the sermon.
Yeah.
Let the Lord use you. Put what you feel. Let him use you. If you enjoyed the comedy show, let the laugh go. Let it use you. So it is that people come when you have a good comedy show, and especially a good comedy host is like a church pastor.
Oh, that's fascinating.
People will come to the church,
right,
for the pastor.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
Because just like a pastor, a great host knows how to move the crowd.
Right. Keep the place
knows
ready.
What to say to them to get them moving, to make them laugh, to give them the amen laugh, to make that amen laugh come out.
Yeah,
and coming up in comedy, I did a lot of urban circuits.
For sure.
I did. So that's the black circuit.
Yeah.
Or as they say, the Chitlin circuit.
Yeah.
Which we gotta change that up because I'm not a chitlin eater. I don't know about you.
I'm good.
So yeah. So we know. But coming up in the black comedy circuit, there's an energy that has to be there when it comes to a black audience. We need that fulfillment. Everything we've been through as a people.
For real.
Up until this point in time.
Yeah.
We need that satisfaction. We need that kind of energy to fill us up.
No doubt.
Because everything else in the world is going to take it away.
Oof. Yeah.
Companies, other people taking our culture, trying to look like it, they're stripping us.
Yeah.
Black people are the greatest natural resource on this planet.
Come on.
We are like gold.
Right.
We are like gold. As soon as they see it, what they doing over there? That's a new dance. Let's try that over in Poland.
It's ours
let's
now,
try that over. Yeah, let's try that over in Germany.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we love their hair. Let's try to find products to make our hair look nappy.
That's what I'm saying.
What are we doing? Black people are the greatest natural resource.
Yeah.
On this earth.
I hear you.
This is why our comedy is so much. It's so relaxing. It's just it brings so much life.
Right.
I know how to play. So the mainstream room, that's like the comedy clubs where, it's a lot more diverse.
No doubt.
I.e., 10 white guys, 1 white woman,
that's right.
and the token black guy on the set.
Just a sprinkle of diversity.
Just a sprinkle. But now it's diverse. Now it's being more diverse. I'm saying more black comedians and Latino comedians in these rooms.
Yeah.
Now we have representation in these rooms, and I like that, and I see the difference. I see the difference with the mainstream room and the black urban rooms.
Got you.
The black urban rooms, it's just like a concert.
Come on.
It could be 20 people in a black comedy space, in a black comedy room.
Yeah.
And it feels like it's 1,000 in there.
Like an arena in that joint.
Like yes.
Yeah,
absolutely. Every time I walk into one.
Wow.
Because that demand for that high level of comedy
Right.
is just needed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with the mainstream club, it helps with the writing.
Right.
It helps with the pacing.
Yeah.
And helps you to kind of like sit there and kind of dive into it a little bit more.
Got you.
Black comedy rooms allow you to do that.
Yeah.
But you got to be able to hit fast up top and get their attention and keep it. Because once you got it in a black room, they'll let you kind of slow down.
Bro,
and kind of get deeper.
What you're saying is so fascinating to me because, like, full disclosure, I'm a preacher. Like, I preach regularly. And, and when I preach in black churches and white churches, it sounds so similar to what you're describing for comedy clubs. Because I can preach to a white congregation and it's quiet. I mean, to the point where, like, when I first started, I'd be like, does this sermon just stink? Like, do they just not like it? But then at the end of it, people like, I was so moved by it and want to shake your hand. And people might even be like crying and stuff. I'm like, what was this? But in the black church, you know, from the second you start, it's a ride. Like you there the whole time. They with you, call and response the whole way through. So it's fascinating to me. Like, and I think you're right on with the sense of because of what we go through and what we've gone through, that sense of like this is like soul work for us to be able to laugh, to be able to say, "Amen." It's soul work. So I'm with you.
Yeah, and that's why I love us.
Yeah,
that's why I love us. I mean, I enjoy people, but I love us the most.
No doubt, no doubt,
because of what we bring to each other. We'll walk in a room, we'll be sitting there, and maybe it's just us, and then we'll see somebody else that looks like us. We'll give them that head nod, or we'll give them that point. You ever do that on vacation? You ever do that? You ever do that on vacation?
No matter what the country is.
You be in a different country. You at a restaurant, you be like, man, they over here looking at us. Oh, wow. You see that one black person, y'all be like, hey, and they be like, hey.
So we good? We good?
We good? We
good? I got you.
We see you. Where you staying at? Make sure they treat you good. That's
it's all facts.
Yeah, man. And I think that's what's so unique about us because we don't even have to know each other.
No.
And we can just completely identify and know what we are going through that day.
Right. That's really it. Talk to me about your experience as a Harlemite. You know, like I'm born and raised in Brooklyn, so I got love for you. I respect Harlem, blah blah blah. But like thinking about the way that part of Harlem culture, like you talk about the dozens and like the flyness that comes out of Harlem. Like, how does that inform your comedy and inform your writing? Like that just like being in that neighborhood, that like legendary neighborhood.
Before we start, you said you're in Harlem, right?
No, I'm from Brooklyn. I live in Virginia now, but I'm from Brooklyn, yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I'm in Brooklyn right now.
Oh, that's the word. Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah. I'm in Crown Heights.
Oh, that's where I was born. All right, there we go.
Oh, shit. Wait. Oh, okay, Evansville.
That's my aunt used to live at. That's why I used to live right over there. Right over there. I used to live over there.
Wow. Okay. All right. Yeah. So, growing up in Harlem, it's about hustle. It's about fashion, and Harlem is the focal point of Black culture across America, across the world.
Right.
Anywhere you go,
for real.
You go to you go to Africa, you go to France, go to Paris, anywhere. Anywhere there's Black people, and you go there, and they be like, "You from America?" You be like, "Yeah, I'm from New York." Where you from? Are you from Brooklyn? I'm like, "No, I'm from Harlem."
Their faces light up, right?
Yo, and it's Brooklyn and Harlem, the two biggest
global ambassadors, like
formal ambassadors of Black people across the world. Oh, you from Brooklyn? You from Harlem? Those two places, those are the only places they get excited from. They get excited about when you tell them that's where you from.
Right.
With Harlem is such a rich history. The Harlem Renaissance. Harlem has been built on like just music from jazz to hip hop, to R&B, to comedy,
right,
to fashion. Harlem has never broken those traditions of just culture.
Right.
You know, gentrification is trying to break that.
Oof, it's doing its best.
It's doing its best.
It's got Brooklyn and Harlem on the ropes right now.
Oh my goodness! Every time I walk around, I'm like, why do I have a taste of pumpkin spice latte?
It's in the air.
I'm like, is that asparagus?
Kombucha?
But I'm very proud of what Harlem is and what it is becoming, because it's not just the gentrification. It's the Black people that have lived in these neighborhoods are now building their own businesses within the community.
Right, right.
And it's amazing to still see that we are still holding on to a lot of our culture,
right,
to a lot of our community. I think one of my favorite things about Harlem is the African American Day Parade. So every September, when they block off the street and the parade goes down 7th Avenue, Adam Clayton Powell Boulevard. And when you walk down, it's just great to see the people of Harlem, from the oldest to the youngest.
Come on.
Just in the street, loving each other. Don't even know each other. A lot of them know each other, but then there's people that you see and you be like, hey, how you doing? What's up, man? You enjoying yourself? You good?
Right.
That's the beautiful thing about Harlem. It's like when we come together in celebration, everybody's family.
Yeah.
Even, I don't know how true this is, but I can believe it in my heart. There's people that don't get along. When it's Harlem thing and they all come together, they be like, oh, all right, chill, what's up?
They put it to the side.
You good? All right. They know how to, there's a time they know how to put that to the side and not let it affect that, because we're here as a community. We're here celebrating our history. We're here celebrating our people.
Right.
And I like to bring a lot of that to my comedy. And for so long, I was a Harlem comedian. And now that I'm doing comedy in different countries, I did my first tour in Indonesia.
Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, it was 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I was out there and I didn't know the language, wasn't aware of the culture, but I took the time to learn.
Come on.
And it took me like 3 days, 4 days to learn their language and to add it to my set.
There we go. I know they love that.
Oh, yeah. It was like, it felt good because they said this dude knows our culture, he knows our language, and he took the time to learn, because that's where I come from.
Got you.
That's where I come from.
Yeah.
I said I'm going to continue to be a Harlem comedian, but I'm going to be a comedian that takes Harlem with him.
That's the difference.
And that's what I did.
That's the difference.
Because a very famous comedian told me, after he roasted me for 10 minutes, he said, you got to do your comedy all around the world.
Yeah.
Don't just stay local.
Right.
Do your comedy everywhere, in London, in Russia, China, India, wherever.
Got you.
Tracy Morgan.
Wow, another giant.
Tracy Morgan.
Yeah, another giant.
Fast forward, I'm doing a 2-week tour, 5 cities, Indonesia, and the response was like I was bigger than Kevin Hart.
Come on.
I felt like the way they were responding to me,
I
felt like I was bigger than the big comedians.
Exactly.
Now.
Right.
It was amazing.
I believe it.
And I got such a great response. They were like, we want you to come back and shoot your special here.
In Indonesia. Like live from Jakarta. Live from Jakarta.
Yeah, like live from Jakarta. Live from Jakarta, live from Bandung, Yogyakarta, Bali. Yo, Bali, I'll go to Bali. Have you been to Bali?
No, I've never been. No.
Oh man, Bali is a sight.
Yeah, it lives up to the hype.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. At first I didn't like it. At first I did not like it.
Yeah.
Because I'm going across the country and I'm going across Indonesia 5 cities, and I'm seeing people that are just amazed at like seeing me.
Right.
Then I get to Bali, and it's just like it's a lot of them. It's very Americanized, and
oh, okay,
yeah, it's like a lot of like Russians and Australians that's
right.
out there. So I just look
Super
like I'm just a
touristy.
regular person.
Yeah.
But later on, we started to go places, and I was just like, "Oh, this is dope."
Yeah.
Okay. All right. This is Bali. This is what
Yeah.
I came to experience.
Got you.
But it was an eye-opening experience. It changed my outlook on how I deliver my message, how I deliver my comedy, and who I deliver my comedy to.
For sure.
Because now my network
Expanded.
It has expanded.
Right.
Until this day, and that we got back Christmas night. Now when I go live, a lot of people from Indonesia, they go into my stream.
Come on.
And they like, Apa kabar? Hey, what's up? Yo, when you're coming back? We want you to come back. And I was just like, yeah, I was meant to do this.
That's what I'm saying. And I love that. I love that because I feel like a lot of people who don't mature past that sense of like, I want to be the funniest person in my neighborhood, the funniest person on my block. Like they may not know that that's not the market for them. Like their market may be overseas somewhere, but they're missing out on that because they're scared to get on the plane. You know what I mean?
Right. A very funny comedian, and I'm always quoting comedians because that's who I learned from.
For sure.
And very funny comedian by the name of Kenny Williams. He said something that was like very eye-opening, but it was like I was like, yeah, got it. Right. He said, "You are where you are because of your set. You are where you are because of your set. If you can only talk about things in your local area and your local perimeter, then you're not going to go anywhere further than that. Right. If you talk about more personal things and what people are going through outside of your perimeter, that's where you'll start to be able to expand to. That's where you'll start going because you're like, this can work here. This can work. This can work in Chicago. This can work in LA. This can work in Texas, in Dallas. This can work in Florida. This can work in Mexico. Right. Once you start challenging yourself to talk about things that affect the world and that people across all cultures, no doubt, are going through, then you are able to move and to travel and to be international. Right. And that's what I'm striving for right now. I hear it. What you're saying, Rashad, makes me think about when I used to be an English teacher and I would teach about Shakespeare, and I would say that when you get super specific, the more specific you are, the more able you are to tap into that which is universal. So rather than trying to talk about everything you're seeing, go into real detail about what you're going through, and something in that's going to tap into someone's experience who you have never met yet. You know what I mean? Like, right? Yeah, I'm with you. Thank you. Yeah, the end goal for comedians is to be universal. Of course. And once you're able to cross back and forth between, talking to black people and then talking to everyone, right? You'll be able to bring everyone to your show. Yeah. Because everyone there has something in common. They know that you're funny. They like who you are. They like what you talk about. Because what I'm talking about is funny to y'all, so it's bringing everyone together. Right. With that, talk to me about a moment in your life or in this journey that made you feel extremely grateful or just like in awe, like, whoa, I can't believe this is happening right now. What was a moment in your life that did that? That comedy award show that I was telling you about. Yeah. Being around the comedians that I watched growing up. Right. In movies. Right. On TV shows. And I'm saying to myself, I'm in this space. Take that in. Yeah. Let yourself know that you will be known to these folks. Right. That was the first one. Second one was recently, I got a chance to perform at the Apollo Comedy Club. Shout out to Bob Sumner.
Okay.
You know Bob Sumner?
Not personally, no.
So Bob Sumner, he was one of the founders of the comedians from Def Jam.
Got you.
Bob Sumner, he founded those talents.
Yeah.
So he helped launch a lot of careers. So I did a show in Jersey last year in April in front of Bob Sumner. 2 weeks later, he comes to my room for a comedy networking event.
Got you.
Calls me on stage. And this is 2 days before my birthday. And he said, Rashad, I want to give you a gift. I'll see you at the Apollo. That was in November.
Yeah.
Second thing, I got my show on Saturdays into the New York Comedy Festival. New York Comedy Festival is the biggest comedy festival on the East Coast.
Right.
Big names from all over.
Everybody's there.
Come to New York. Got my show in. Third thing, I got to go on tour in a different country.
Yeah.
All back to back.
Come on.
All back to back. It was like Jordan draining threes in the fourth quarter.
Come on.
Just
on fire.
It was amazing. And I said to myself, I cannot give up.
Right.
You will never win if you give up.
That's a fact.
You will never get what you want if you can pause and rest.
Yeah.
But once you're rested, get up. Once you get your win, get up, run even further.
Yeah, got to.
So those four things were monumental to me. It let me know, like, okay, I was meant to be here. And I have so many goals that I didn't have before that I have now that I can say, oh, this is I can get this. I can reach this now.
Yeah. Your goal is expanded because of the opportunity.
Yes. Once I've done the work, my question is, what's next?
Right.
So I did the tour. What's next?
Absolutely.
Theaters, more road work.
Right.
Sitcoms. Writing my own sitcoms.
Good.
Becoming a better writer first. Becoming a better writer and improving on my stand-up every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
With you.
Yeah.
I hear that. So when you think about outside of your work, like what's something that you like to spend your time doing? Like what are the activities? 'Cause I know a lot of comedians, just personality-wise, tend to be like very like observant people. Like how do you sort of like spend your time and really? It doesn't even have to be like on the clock, like I'm thinking of material, but how do you sort of spend your time in order to find like your inspirations?
Oh, that's easy. Instagram. Yo, I am on Instagram. Oh my God. I am on Instagram so much. It is unbelievable. But sometimes I realize like being on Instagram is never a good thing.
Right.
Because I'm sitting there, I'm scrolling.
Yeah.
And it's like, I say, you know what? I just need to find somebody on Instagram just to see their name. And then next thing I know, the sun is going back down. I was like, damn, I didn't even go nowhere.
The whole day's gone.
My whole day is gone. So I'm like, you know what? Let me not do Instagram. I'm trying to read more for an hour a day.
No doubt.
Then I can expand it to like 2 hours a day. I watch Netflix. I like to watch different specials.
Got you.
Because I like to see the writing process. I like to hear the writing process.
Right.
How did they set that up? Why are they telling this joke the way that they are? Yeah. Because a lot of times when I'm watching a comic, I know they're telling that joke to set up for something later on down their set to have a bigger payoff. And I'm just like, okay, I saw what they did there.
Right.
I watch the news sometimes, and I really don't like watching the news because it's super traumatic.
Yeah.
And it puts all these ideas in your head to where I just got to cut it off. Yeah. I just got to cut it off. So I really can't do it. I go for walks. Walking does help. Going in Prospect Park.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize how much of a benefit that was.
Oh, yeah.
Just walking around and just just taking in, that energy, the quietness of walking in the park, just helping you to be with your own thoughts.
Right.
I talked to my wife.
Dope.
She's oh man, just lifesaver.
No doubt.
Lifesaver. Sharing my ideas with her and she giving her honest opinions about it. And really, just being with her. I thank God for my wife. We've been together 13 years.
Let's go. Yeah, man.
So we've been married for over a year, but we've been together
13
years.
Up, man. That's foundation.
So she's been with me since the beginning of my comedy
the whole
career.
journey.
So she's been with me the whole journey, and that is amazing.
Yeah.
It is amazing to have that because we were in our 20s.
Come on, right?
We did our whole 20s together.
Yeah.
We did our whole 20s together, and you look at that and say, hold on to this.
For sure.
Because it's very hard for young people in their 20s to be together into their 30s.
Yeah, for real.
It's rare because when you're in your 20s, you want to be out. You want to be partying. You don't want to be tied down,
Right.
But when you find something and you see that this is worth holding on to, you don't let it go.
That's the truth.
You don't let it go. No matter what y'all go through, if y'all break up and y'all get back together,
right,
you be like, okay, this was meant to be.
Right.
And you learn from each other every day.
That's it.
You learn you learn what makes you upset, what makes you happy. And a lot of times, a lot of our happiness is us just giving each other space.
That's wisdom.
You got to be able to give one another space.
Yeah.
Allow because we're in control of our own happiness. We make each other happy.
Right.
But our true joys and pleasures are our own responsibility.
Got you.
We can ask, how can I assist?
Right.
If you can't get something that pleases you, do you need me to go get it?
Yeah.
That's how I can give you pleasure, by going to get you something that pleases you.
Right. How can I help you? Right.
Right. How can I pour into you and you pour into me equally?
Exactly.
So yeah, man, I talk with my wife, I walk, I read, we got a whole library right here.
Dope.
We got a whole library I can just choose from and just read up on some things. And I ask myself, how can I apply this to my comedy?
Yeah.
Because my whole thing now is not only making my audiences laugh, but giving them valuable information.
Got you.
Things they probably didn't read about before.
Right.
That they can be like, oh, that was funny. And then be like, let me go investigate this.
Right.
So I'm trying to self-educate myself every day, reading something different and figuring out how I can make it funny and also inform my audiences about it. That way they can do their own investigation about things. And because jokes only work when people know stuff.
100%.
So if I make a reference in my joke and people be like, I didn't get it.
Right,
and
flew
I'm like,
over their head.
Read up on it.
Right.
And they're like, that flew over my head. And I'm like, read up on it. And when they read up on it, they call me back. Yo, that joke was hilarious. I was like, what? I was like, you're about a month late, but
we moved on, but welcome. Right.
We moved on, but I thank you. But now that I've informed people, they become more aware.
No doubt.
Of certain things.
Right.
And now they're able to be like, all right, let me start doing some investigation myself.
No doubt.
So that's, and this is why I love comedy, because it's just like gospel. It's just like preaching the word.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times when you say something that hits here, that hits somebody right in their heart, they're going to be like, oh my God, I just did that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I just experienced that. And that's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
When I tell a joke that's so funny and people come back to me and be like, Rashad, that just happened to me. Oh my God, you're hilarious. I'm coming to your next show.
There it is.
So
There it is,
that's my process. Just know people, know who I am.
Right.
I read up, try to be as knowledgeable as I can, and be as authentic as I can.
Got you.
Yeah.
It's the truth. Once again, truth comes back into the play here. It's like people really need the truth. They appreciate it and they respect it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a question I ask every guest here is imagine that you're hosting a dinner. You can invite 4 guests. They can be dead, living, fictional, or real people. Rashad, who are you bringing to this dinner?
Oh. Oh, man. Because it's so many.
That's always the problem. That's always the problem.
It's so many. It's so many. First, I would definitely bring my martial arts instructor.
All right.
When I was doing taekwondo, when I was practicing taekwondo, that was a major time in my life where I had self-confidence, where I could walk in the street and know I can protect myself and be safe.
Dope.
Not to say that I can't do that, but I have to be a lot more aware.
Yeah.
Because my instructor and his father, they instilled a discipline in me that I can walk in these streets and know that I can protect myself and possibly protect others if need be.
Yeah.
Number two, oh man, this is definitely my grandmother.
Yeah. Get you.
Yeah. When she passed, it was very hard.
Right.
It's very hard on me. She was the matriarch of our family. And when she passed, I took it really hard. Even when I'm in the Bronx and I take the train past the stop where we used to get off to go visit her.
You feel something.
It kind of like, ooh.
Yeah. It's real.
It's definitely my grandmother. Definitely my mom. Yeah, my mom has to be there. Yeah, how small is this table? That's all I need to know. Is there extra seats? Can somebody sit on somebody's lap?
Previous guests have found a way to put more sleeves on the table. It's become kind of like the banquet hall by the time they're done.
You said 4 though, right?
I limited to 4, but I've had people put in like whole groups.
Because my parents have to be there.
Yeah.
My parents have to be there.
I get you.
My mom, my dad, and my biological father.
Gotcha.
Because I don't like calling my stepdad my stepdad.
Right.
He's been in my life since I was 8 months old.
Oh, come on, right.
So yeah, he's
the whole story, right?
He's part of the whole story. So my parents, so my mom, my father, and my biological father. So they have to be there. My grandmother has to be there. My martial arts instructor,
got you,
has to be there. And wow. I think that's it.
That's it. I think that's a fantastic group. I always laugh at people will share just like such brilliant insights on like all these other questions. And this question jams people up. It's just like
yeah, it does.
It's just like if I said think of 30 people, maybe that's easier. I don't know, but something about 4 is like makes it more tough.
Yeah. What I say my martial arts instructor because it was even though he was my instructor and he gave me great discipline. He also saw who I was.
That's real.
As a youngster, like I was I was probably like 15 to like 20, 21.
Wow. Yeah.
Like 15 to when I was like 20, 21 years old.
Uh-huh.
You know, he's very influential to me. He's very inspirational.
Right.
And, you know, to study the arts is to, you know, study yourself.
True story.
You know, how well can you throw your kick? How well you throw your kick is how well you practice and strengthen your body.
Right.
How well is your discipline?
Yeah.
Is what this instructor teaching you valid?
Right.
What is he teaching you to kick properly? Is he telling you how to lock? Is he telling you how to chamber well?
Right.
Is he telling you about nutrition and how to treat your body? He did
Come
that.
on.
And that's why he has to have a seat at the table.
I'm with that. Changed your life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because through that discipline, showed me how to discipline myself and to study a craft and study it well.
Right.
And a lot of people don't acknowledge comedy as an art form.
Come on. That part.
It's the most disrespected art, but the most needed.
Yeah. People gotta laugh. Like, laughing's not an option. It's not an option.
Laughing's not an option.
Yeah.
One thing I will say is it's disrespected. It's a disrespected art because everybody think they can just jump up there and do it.
Right.
Because they feel that they're funny amongst their friends, their coworkers.
Yeah.
That's a specific group.
Yeah.
You're funny amongst your friends because y'all are all inside on the joke.
Right.
How can you take what y'all laugh at in the group and make it funny to other people that don't know y'all?
It's strangers.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So first, with comedy, you got to be comfortable up there and not look nervous.
That part.
Because it's easy for you to yell at me from the back of the room, "Yo, I'm funny," and then we get you up there, and you be like, "Yo, look at this ugly dude right here," and they be like, "Yo,
not working.
Yo, white people, right?" You like, nah, we're not doing it. Right. Yeah, that's literally how it goes. Almost every time somebody gets on stage thinking they can do stand-up.
Right.
It's so funny to me. And when they get off stage and they be like, "Much respect."
Yeah, I didn't realize how difficult this was.
Absolutely.
That's real. That's real. So what upcoming projects do you have that you want us to check out? Like, where can we keep up with your work? Obviously on Instagram, I want you to plug on social media, but where else can we keep up with your work?
Yeah, so you can follow me. I'm on Instagram, rbashir_comedy. I'm also on TikTok as under the same tag. I have a few projects coming up as far as like sketch shows.
Cool.
We're gonna be putting out clips I'm gonna be putting out clips on my Instagram, so you can follow that. So I'm looking to make Stephen A. Smith and the Shannon Sharp a full-on like.
It's so funny to me.
Yeah. Because he wouldn't do that to you.
That's the one. I was crying because I was like, let me just pause. The way that like you really pay attention to how Stephen A. be talking, because he really does that when he drops his voice, where he's not just like screaming, and he just drops his voice. I was like, there it is. It's the details. It's the details.
Oh man. Also, the guy that's in that video, shout out to my guy Idris. We are starting a comedy variety show.
Okay.
At a place called Coexist. It is a Black-owned gaming facility.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, so yeah. It's gonna be January 30th. That's gonna be our first show. We just shot some promos for it, so that's gonna be on our Instagram as well.
Great.
You can see it on mine. We're gonna do that every second and last Tuesday of each month.
Okay.
So we're gonna be doing stand-up comedy, sketch improv. We're also gonna be doing cosplay karaoke.
Okay.
So if anybody that's into anime,
Right.
video gaming, this place is amazing.
Yeah,
it's called Coexist. It's Black owned by a Black Afro-Latina.
Oh, there we go.
She's so amazing.
Right.
You walk into this place and you're like, yeah, this is where I need to be.
Come on, that's all. That's awesome.
It's located at 325 West 38th Street.
All right.
So if anybody wants to come out,
please
do. They also have memberships that people can pay for.
Perfect.
So there's like a $25 membership where you can go. It's like $25 a month.
Yeah.
And you have access to unlimited video games.
There it is.
From Atari all the way up to PS5.
Come on. Right.
Yeah.
There it is.
So definitely, please. Her name is Letta J. LETTA NJ. So look out for Letta J. And she's amazing.
There it is.
She's amazing. Please support her. And thank y'all for supporting me. If y'all ever see my Paul Mooney videos,
yes.
Thank y'all for the comments. Thank y'all for the likes. Thank y'all for the follows. And stay tuned. I'm gonna be coming out with more Paul Mooney reactions.
Yes.
Wake up, nigga.
It's just like I watched you do it, and I had to go on YouTube and just like watch like Jesus was black and so was Cleopatra, know your history or something like that. Just like watch it stand up because it's just like it was like this is exactly what he would say about what's happening right now. It was just perfect. Like what we said, it was like Karen Luther King or some joint you said. It just kept
yeah. Karen Luther King, Martin Luther Kevin.
Yes.
Those Coretta Scott Karens. What in the white condo forever is going on? They are doing the colonizer shuffle. These.
Oh man, it's so good, yo. So good.
And I was, and I say like this, and I say it today, and I'm gonna finish with this.
Oh, good.
Paul Mooney is one of those comedians that would have a tough time getting work because of who he is and how he delivers and the way he delivers the truth.
Yeah.
So this is so I take the sensitivity of the world and I take the voice of Paul Mooney.
Yeah.
And I would say how would he be able to exist in this time where he's still around? How would he be able to do comedy in this time? So that's how I put those two equations together.
Yeah.
And thus you have the videos that I put out.
Dude, it is a sign of brilliance. Keep on going. I know iPhone will be supporting your work, man. It's great, man. So keep it going, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And y'all know what it is. Listen to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Please subscribe to BaddestChaplain.substack.com. Follow us on IG, TikTok, Facebook, all at Baddest Chaplain. Until next time, man. Take care and be blessed. Talk to y'all soon.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you, Chris.
Of course.